And I felt so nostalgic when I knew from your biodata that you are a student of BJP College.
Yeah,
So we belong to the same alma mater.
yeah. Same alma mater. I am now at
Yes.
Agartala now. I am
Yes,
speaking
yes,
from
I know.
Agartala.
Yes.
That is the digital miracle, no?
So we'll begin the webinar. We welcome all connected to this webinar on this 7th October of 2020. A very warm afternoon to all. Warm welcome to all to this webinar on role of philosophy in contemporary scenario. And I am Amya Batra of Kuchinda College. On behalf of Internal Quality Assessment Cell of Kuchinda College and Department of Philosophy of Kuchinda College, I welcome all who are connected to this webinar, all the knowledge, audience, intelligentsia, all throughout Odisha and across India. And first of all, we welcome to the esteemed speaker of the day, Dr. Aditya Kumar Mohanty, Professor and Head of Department of Philosophy, Central University of Tripura, Agartala. And he's sitting there far away from us. And he says this is the digital miracle that we are connected to each other. A very warm welcome and greetings to you, sir. And we welcome to the principal of the college, esteemed principal, Mr. Khagesh Das, whose encouragement and patronage is all philosophy, Ms. Suchitra Misra, HOD, and Mr. Ranjit Pradhan, lecturer of philosophy, and all other faculty members but they have the assisting or technically for making this webinar successful, and all our students who are sitting at home who are listening to us, and all the other members of different faculties of different colleges, professors, our teachers, and all those who are interested in this webinar. And the topic of this webinar is role of philosophy in contemporary scenario. And let me say a few words before handing over the microphone to the for the ongoing seminar, for the ongoing webinar, that we have a long tradition of philosophy in India, right from Adi Shankaracharya, Ramanuja, and and also in the Western philosophy, right from the father of philosophy, Socrates. But we have seen that philosophy has all along been confined to the ivory tower, but it is Socrates who brought it to the street. And we hope that once again, the same thing, the same role has been played by our esteemed Professor Dr. Aditya Kumar Mohanty, who is playing a very vital role. Now, I hand over the microphone and request our esteemed principal, Mr. Khagesh Das, to deliver his post to speak a few words, sir. Good
Good afternoon, everybody. Namaskar. Uh, I extend once again my heartfelt. Uh, I welcome you all to this special lecture on the role of philosophy in the contemporary scenario. Uh, at the outset of this special lecture on the topic relevance of philosophy in the present scenario, significance of philosophy in the present scenario. We are deeply honored, sir, as you are guest of this evening. And I must mention here that all our young listeners and students will be immensely benefited by your talk. I deem it an honor and privilege to present before the August participant a very brief profile of Dr. Aditya Kumar Mohanty. Dr. Aditya Kumar Mohanty is a professor of philosophy of international repute. Dr. Aditya Kumar Mohanty, currently professor in the Department of Philosophy, Central University Tripura, was formerly professor and head, Center of Advanced Study in Philosophy, Utkal University. He graduated from BJB College, Bhubaneswar, and was topper in the university in the philosophy honors in the year 1974. He had his post-graduation in philosophy from Utkal University, Bhubaneswar, and received the University Gold Medal in 1976 for occupying the first position in MA Philosophy Honors. He has the rare distinction of graduating simultaneously in Philosophy Honors and English Honors. He had his MPhil and PhD from Northeastern Hill University or Nehu, Shillong, and completed his PhD in record time of 4 months. I would like to repeat this statement again. He had completed his PhD in record time of 4 months. Dr. Mohanty obtained his DLit degree from Utkal University in the year 2006. But apart from the academic pursuit, he is a man of rare breed. And this is not all about him. There are many more things I would like to add. He has to his credit 11 books and a number of research publications in Indian philosophy, ethics, and religion. The books which are published, they are Knowable and the Sable in 1986, The Upanishads Rediscovered 1992, Philosophy of Value 1999, Call of Messiah, Dharma 1998, Concept and Issues in Indian Philosophy, Karma 2004, Guru Tattva, Comparative Religion in 2006, Cycles of Creation, and Philosophy, what, why, what, and how. Yoga, Concept and Practice, Bhakti, Practice, Concept and Cult. He represented Hinduism from India in the International Seminar on Inter-Religious Dialogue at Poland. Besides academic pursuit, he has the consuming passion to serve the poor and the downtrodden, and was a recipient of Janna Seva Shield in 1983 for extensive relief work among the food-stricken people. Excellency Award in 2006 in the field of social action. Gold Medal for Social Service. Rotary Award for the Working for the Unprivileged. Pratibha Saman and Indradimna Award in Social Work in 2009. Samaj Ratna Award in 2013. Saraswata Saman 2013. and RM Memorial Service Award in 2014. Uh, he is a man of rare breed. I said earlier. I would say the name is a brand itself. He is an institution, a hope for hopeless, and a home for homeless. A deeply spiritual being whose every action is dedicated to the Supreme One. He is passionately engaged in the service of mankind. His tireless effort is bringing smiles to the lips of hundreds of homeless children in the state of Odisha. Sir, this is very few words about you. In what words we can say, or I can say, you are a man of multifaceted. Now, this is all about a very brief introduction regarding Dr. A.K. Mohanty, Aditya Kumar Mohanty. Now, I would like to speak few words on the purpose of this seminar, or we can say the prime reason for organizing such a seminar. What is the necessity of organizing such a seminar on the role of philosophy in the contemporary scenario? When we see today, there is a widespread indifference towards philosophy. People raise their eyebrows at the name or mention of philosophy. Thus, philosophy has been safely consigned to the academics only. Because of what? So far my knowledge goes, it may be due to the prevalent situation, lack of understanding, and lack of knowledge regarding the subset and its utility and purpose of philosophy. As we all know that philosophy is as old as human civilization. It is a universally recognized subject. But in the present day scenario, it is interpreted as useless. So it is the high time, I think, we have to bring it to the street, we have to bring it to the common man. Let us think, at this point of time, we are so skillful, we have become so powerful and so rich, but why don't we have peace and happiness? We don't know how to manage with our knowledge. We do not know how to remove all the disparities in the society. Today, India has been marred by the widespread communal violence, rape, hatred, intolerance. Our political bigwigs seems like hopeless, helpless, and hapless, we can say. This is the present scenario. Not only this, there are many more we are suffering from, we are facing. Life is a challenge for us, though we are technically so much rich. I think here philosophy will come to our rescue. I am not here, or I shall make no attempt to give a precise definition of philosophy. It is philosophy which makes us introspective. It will teach us how to look within. I must conclude my idea uh, or purpose of this seminar with a very brief definition that philosophy is essentially an attempt to rise from sensuous to pure, that is non-sensuous thought. With this, I am looking forward. Sir, I once again welcome you on behalf of the Department of Philosophy, Kuchinda College, on behalf of IQAC, and on behalf of Kuchinda College, and all above all the students. So we are looking forward. Thank you very much, sir. I express my deepest sense of gratitude for your kind consent to deliver or to address our young mind, or particularly our students. Thank you.
Thank you. As I have said that we have a very ancient tradition, long tradition of philosophers, right from Adi Sankaracharya, Ramanuja, Nagarjuna, Kumar Bhatta, and we have Swami Dayananda, C. Rabinda, Swami Vivekananda, Jiddu Krishnamurti. And we know and we hope that Dr. Aditya Kumar Mohanty will have his rightful place in this long list of Indian philosophers. And today's webinar, on the role of philosophy on the in the present scenario will be a very fruitful discussion, and I request all our learned audience, all our professors, teachers, students, that they can send their questions in writing through message. And after the talk is over, sir will answer some select questions. So now I hand over the microphone to our esteemed speaker of the afternoon, Dr. Aditya Kumar Mohanty. And sir, now it is over to you, and we are all ears. Thank you, sir.
Namaskar and good afternoon to all of you. I do not know how to share my feelings of gratitude to all of you. But when you say that you are grateful, I feel that it is a little out of the way, because all through my career for the last 4 decades, I have been a teacher, and on account of being so, I'm a part and parcel of your fraternity. Be it a fraternity at Kuchinda or university or at Agartala, I'm a part and parcel of your family. So for me, it is as good as talking to members of the family. So what I've been doing is simply I shall be discharging my bounden duties as a teacher to share my considered views, thoughts on the topic assigned to me by the organizers. But I must profusely thank Principal Professor Das, Kageshwar Das, the mentor of the college and the captain of the ship, and all his esteemed colleagues, the faculties from across different disciplines, not only of Kuchinda, but also different parts of the country, state of Odisha, for being here together to share this academic ambience. Friends, it has been that this has been said by more than one faculty that philosophy has fallen into disrepute. Long back, Plato said philosophy falls into disrepute because of its voter is. It's one thing. Second thing is, philosophy is so much part and parcel of our thinking. Philosophy is so much embedded in our thought or psyche that we tend to forget it. If you stand before Kuchinda College, the college that we call the college, the structure, you look at the structure. For a moment, you never think, or you are never led to think that there is a foundation which lies buried or hidden from view. All that you see is superstructure. You never see the foundation. But we should all, it should always uppermost in our mind that without the foundation, the structure won't stand. So though the foundation is not sin, it does sustain the structure. Similarly, friends, there are certain thoughts, certain values, certain academic fundamentals which sustain human legacy of human thinking, culture, and civilization. Some people say, caricature philosophy saying that philosophy is a search for a black cat in a dark room where there is none. Wonderful. Sometimes a satire also contains truth. Let me repeat. Now, sometimes the satire is directed to philosophy like this. Philosophy is armchair speculation. It does not yield anything as the science of agriculture and the other sciences, empirical sciences. So what is it? It is a futile search. It is a search for a black cat in a dark room where there is none. True, it is true in a sense, it's true. Because philosophy is not interested in finding whether there is a cat or is a black cat or a white cat. Philosophy is interested in the search. Search for the sake of search. So what is important is the art and the technique or the strategy of searching. Unless you have the mindset, unless you have the inner momentum, inner call to search, you don't find anything. You just grope about. You search with a focus. This is what Socrates, as it was told a couple of minutes back, this is what Socrates tried to remind the humanity. You see, what is important for human beings is to ask questions. It is only by asking questions that you determine what you want to search, you want to find. To search, you have to ask questions. Friends, you'll all agree that on this planet, Earth, man is no doubt or indisputably the most evolved creature. The most evolved creature. Why? It has a very massive body. No, it doesn't have a more massive body than an elephant. More physical strength and not like a big tiger or leopard. So why is it that man is said to be the most evolved creature? Because of his intelligence. Because of a developed mind. It is not that animals don't have mind. Animals do have mind. Even tree, it has been proved beyond doubt that a tree also respond to stimuli. They have also mind. And to the extent, it is said that the so-called inanimate has also mind dormant in it. Many scientists have said matter is thought. We are not going into debate that. But one thing is sure that in this, you cannot say that it is the only planet where there are beings. There could be, there's a myriads of heavenly bodies, galaxies, and could be that if there is a life support system or the conditions are German conducive, could be there are beings, living beings. We can't say, we can't rule out the possibility. But on this planet Earth, man is the most evolved creature because he's endowed with a developed mind. What does it do by doing this? A dog has also mind. It can distinguish between his own men and his strangers. Even the plants respond to stimuli like good music and stimulate better harvest. In what sense Having mind is different, makes the human beings distinct. Because in case of animals, in case of non-humans, the instinct is in command. If a cow is hungry, it will snatch away the food from the calf. But a human mother may prefer to die, go without food, in favor of the child. So human beings have the sense of right and wrong, sense of end and means. That is how, friends, we can say, that is why we can say human beings are endowed with greater ability, greater psychic ability. Suppose you have that. What has it given to man? It has given many things. Man is possessor of science, technology, and whatnot. All that now with that we are talking to each other, though we are distanced by big space. I'm at Agartala, just Bangladesh is only 2 kilometers away from this place. And somebody in London could also participate in a discussion, in a webinar. This is technology. The man who was roving about in the forest in quest of food and shelter, the same man is thinking of migrating to other planets. What a great progress. How could it be possible? Because of the mind. Now, what do we do with mind? Because of the mind, we don't take things for granted. We ask questions. Why, what, how? If you are sitting on the sea beach and you find the sun is rising in the east, and in the evening it sets, it sets in the western horizon. We ask, how does it happen? Why there is earthquake? Why there is tsunami? Why there is super cyclone? Why there is corona or this pandemic? Why cancer? Why plague? If human beings would not ask such questions, then perhaps science would not have been born and technology would not have been there. Because technology is nothing but application of scientific knowledge to make a difference to the environment. Science gives us knowledge, technology gives us know-hows. So without science, there cannot be technology. And without technology, you cannot think of the progress that we encountered today. So the ability or the faculty or the potential to ask questions. Why? Why like this? Why not otherwise? Why at all there is a creation rather than there is no creation? Scientists are asking if the scientists have said the universe had a beginning in the Big Bang. Philosophers ask, what was there before the Big Bang? What is it that triggered Big Bang? Why at all there is a Big Bang? These are the fundamental questions which philosophers have been asking. Now, all that I have been trying to drive home is this, that philosophy is born out of human nature or human instinct or disposition to ask questions. And asking question is a want of human mind, is a characteristic nature of human mind, not an animal. If there is thunder and lightning, an animal will run to a place of shelter. But a man may run for security, but he would ask, why thunder? Why lightning? Do they have the source, beginning at the same time? Why is it that we see lightning fast and thunder later? Because sound travels, or light travels faster than sound. Now this why question asking whys and trying to find answers could bring about science and technology. Now, philosophers also ask questions. But what is the difference between a philosophical question and a scientific question? Why is it that a PhD in every subject, be it in chemistry or physics or library science or philosophy, is termed the doctor of philosophy? Why the word philosophy? Can it not be dispensed with? PhD in mathematics, what does it mean? It is written, the chancellor says, I vest this degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Chemistry, Doctor of Philosophy in Physics, Doctor of Philosophy in... Why? Philosophy should accompany every research degree. What for? It's pertinent to ask such questions. Does it have any significance? It is because philosophy is a mother discipline. In what sense it is a mother discipline? Because the foundational questions, the fundamental questions, the conceptual questions, the most general questions are philosophical. Are philosophical. Socrates, all that Socrates used to do is to tell that don't play yourself into dogmas and superstitions, because there can be nothing more detrimental than that. If you want to keep yourself immune from the dogmas and superstitions, irrational practices, you must learn how to ask questions. So the questioning temper is typical of a human species. And Socrates was trying to revive that. Socrates was trying to stimulate man's disposition for asking questions, so that we do not play ourselves into the reign or rule of dogmas and superstitions. Now, if we come to the conclusion that asking question is a characteristic ability in man which distinguishes man from other living species, then how does he go about it? Now, when he asks a question, a particular question about a particular phenomenon, that thing empowers him. Bacon says that this kind of knowledge that you ask, that you get by questioning nature, makes you empowered. For example, now the whole worldwide, now they're trying to find a vaccine for corona. The day the vaccine is found, corona will be under control. Corona can be prevented, and if somebody is affected by corona, he can be cured. So your knowledge about the cause of corona will help you to ward off corona, will help you to keep yourself immune to corona. This is knowledge, is empowerment. If you know the cause of cancer, you can prevent cancer, you can control cancer. In this sense, Bacon says, let us question nature, let us snatch away the secrets of nature. Once you know the nature, you can control nature, you can harness nature. Knowledge is power. So an empirical scientist, natural scientists, be it physics, chemistry, botany, zoology, geology, ornithology, whatever, they try to understand the why of a particular phenomenon. What is the cause of inflation is a question in economics. What is the cause of downfall of Mughal Empire is a question in history. Or you can say in political science. What is the cause of student unrest or labor unrest, labor welfare? Isn't it? So different disciplines try to find out, ask causal questions. What philosopher will ask, the most fundamental question, is there anything which has caused everything? Does it make sense to say, is there anything which has caused everything into existence? So philosopher always will ask a why question in a global scale, in a holistic scale. How philosophy is related to empirical disciplines, social sciences or natural sciences? Because every question in empirical science has a philosophical dimension. If you go to the basics of any subject, for example, if a physicist will ask, what is ultimate particle? What is the ultimate particle of the universe? For quite some time, people used to think that atom is the smallest structure. Later we found that atom has all structure: electron, neutron, proton. Then came the question of positrons, anti-electron, matter, antimatter. Then you break the nucleus, you get some fundamental. Then you get quarks. Now the philosophical questioning: is there anything called ultimate? Or the so-called ultimate is relative to our observation? These are the typical philosophical questions asked by a physicist. Asked by a physicist. A musicology, a musician, a person studying musicology, why Saptaswara? What is the basis? How do you draw it, derive it? Why the sounds of different animals are taken as basics of the tunes, the melodies of nature? What for? These are the philosophical questions about music. And a musician can also very well ask it. In this sense, you can say, so any point you begin, any empirical question, it has its culmination, it has its reference to a foundational question. That is philosophy. That is why there is a passage to philosophy from every discipline. It is not for nothing. It is not for formality that you are given a PhD in chemistry. Because all the fundamental. So let me ask a question. Now, scientists make predictions. What is the basis of prediction? Because nature is uniform. If nature would have been capricious, if nature would work at random, you cannot know that 100 years after, at such a point of time, there is solar eclipse or lunar eclipse. Nature is uniform, be it an atom or a galaxy. Things move with a discipline. Who has imposed the discipline? How come that energy obeys a discipline? Energy is a blind force. This is a philosophical question asked by scientists. So friends, philosophers cannot say this is our prerogative. Even an empirical scientist, in trying to search for the fundamentals, in trying to come to grips with the fundamentals, may grow philosophical. Why is Rabindranath Tagore said a philosopher poet? What are the philosophical components in his poetry? When he is asking about the ultimate things. Why Pierre Sarkar is taken as a philosopher? He is asking a question in English. Vishwa jakhan hoyni takhan tumi chilo kon kane bolo tumi chilo kar mane? This is a poet asking a philosophical question. Oh God, oh Creator, where were you when nothing was there? No human beings were there, no mind was there. Vishwa jakhan hoyni takhan. When nothing was there, when the creation was not there, you say that you were there. If you were there, where? What was your locus? Where did you exist? Vishwa jakhan hoyni takhan tumi chilo kar mane bolo? Because there is no human being, there is no mind. In whose mind you resided? Vishwa jakhan hoyni takhan tumi chilo kar mane bolo? Tumi chilo kon khane? Which place? Space was not there because multiplicity was not there. Friends, if there is no duality, space will be meaningless. If there is no event, time will be meaningless. So space-time was not there. Wherever you go. This is a fundamental question about a poet is asking through his poetry. So all that I've been trying to bring home is this, or share with you is this, that there is a passage to philosophy from every discipline. Because if all foundational, fundamental, conceptual questions of every discipline is philosophical in nature. The same scientists may raise it. But there are two different activities. Asking a question about a particular is an empirical quest. Why malaria? Why cancer? Why corona? Why social unrest? Why price rise? Why indiscipline of the adolescents? These are empirical questions. They need to be addressed and they have to answer it. It's necessary. But at the same time, sometimes the empirical questions and answers acquire meaning only when you understand answers to fundamental questions related to that. It is in this sense that philosophy is taken to be a mother discipline. Now the question is, I would like to draw the attention of our learned participants to a typical human ability which is distinct from the animal consciousness. Okay, an animal is hungry, you give food, it eats. Isn't it? Hunger, there is food, animal will eat, will tend to eat. Even if somebody else's, it will just enter in and enter your kitchen if its doors are slammed open. But a human being may think, is it the right food for me? Should I take this food which belongs to someone else? Is it the time for taking food? Will it make me healthy or sick? So when you are asking this why question about the food, you are not taking food. Supposing you are seeing the sunset, this is a fast order engagement. You are seeing sunset. A child is looking at the sky, twinkling in the sky, night sky, asking the parent, Dad, Mom, where do the stars go in the daytime? Is it not a meaningful question? Meaningful question. Suppose you explain the answer, will you understand? No. Nonetheless, the question is asked, because the mind of human being is to ask questions. Is to ask questions. Now, when you are asking, when the child is asking that why the stars twinkle in the sky, is he observing it? It's going one step above, transcending. Why does this happen? When there is a corona, you are asking why this corona? Is it triggered by some mischievous scientists? Triggered by a particular country? Is it an artificial virus or natural virus? Here you are thinking about a phenomenon. So philosophy and science, they are all art of thinking about. I'll see how it is different from science. So when you think about something, you transcend that, isn't it? A old man lives his whole life, back end of his life, having been ill-treated by his son and daughter-in-law. He pauses for a while and asks himself, what for all this? I took so much of trouble, staked all my money to nurture, to bring up, to foster my children. And this is the reward of what life is worth. Suppose you are doing research, all of a sudden you think, what for this research? Does it really augment the cause of academics? Is it a really significant addition to the stock of knowledge? You are not doing research, you are thinking about it. So doing research is one level of engagement, and it's a secondary engagement. Asking a why question. So by asking a why question, you are transcending your faster engagement and trying to understand why and how of it. That is how the science has come at technological. Philosophers go still one step beyond. Let me explain. Now the scientist, while engaged in investigation, uses certain concepts like cause, effect, hypothesis, laws. A philosopher will science class. How do you define a cause? How is cause related to effect? Can there be many causes for one effect? Number one. This is one level question. Second, is there anything which has caused everything? Is there a cause? Is there anything, any entity or anything or a factor or matter or mind or consciousness which has caused the universe to come into existence? Causal question in a holistic plane and causal question in a conceptual plane. What is cause? What is effect? What is matter? Physicists will ask, what is matter? Is matter extended? What about energy? Energy is a state of matter. They say that, they will ask, energy, what is energy? Capacity to do what? But do you see energy? No, you see force. Energy is never seen. What you see, what is force? Now, energy in a direction is force. Where from does it get force? If energy is blind. If energy, in physicist term, scalar property. If energy is a scalar property, how does it find direction? It becomes vector. Suppose you start a vehicle and leave it on the road, it goes straight. But if it is negotiating the bends, of course, you have to admit there is an intelligent driver sitting there. There is an intelligent driver sitting there. So the energy, if energy obeys a force, what is it that gives a direction to energy? Why is it that the nature is uniform? Like begets like. A human mother doesn't give birth to a monkey, nor a monkey give birth to a dog. Monkey begets a monkey, dog begets. And a guava, if you plant a guava, you get guava only. You don't expect a mango. Like begets like. What assures it? In state of nature, we take it for granted. Don't take it for granted. Ask why. Ask why. These whys don't have questions in science. That is why it is said that there are some unaskables in science. The fundamental axioms, if fundamental axioms are questioned, you don't have an answer. It doesn't have an answer. An axiom doesn't have an answer within the system. That is why if you want to question the system, question the fundamentals, question the axioms. It is here that the philosophers are at play. Philosophers are at play. There is a long drawn struggle and conflict between blacks and whites, apartheid. The question is, does the color of the skin make a difference to human aspirations? Many places I always pose this question. Is there any diagnostic equipment by which, be it a PET scan or a CT scan or a biopsy or you can say anything, MRI, you can know somebody's religion? Is there any scientist who can assure that in future they will have a equipment or a diagnostic equipment by which they can, by looking at it, they say whether it's Christian or Muslim or Hindu? That means it is so artificial. In nature, there is no distinction of caste, color, creed, religion. By testing, by examining your blood, can I say whether you are a Brahmin or a Pan or a Brahmin or a scheduled caste or a scheduled tribe or a Muslim? No. But the whole world is divided, rocked because of the Islamic and non-Islamic divide, Christian, non-Christian divide. What a paradox, what a irony. Despite all that you have achieved, so much of knowledge, science and technology at the apex, what you are fighting in the name of religion, which is not at all native to somebody's being. All human beings across the world are one and indivisible. Essentially, we are all human beings. We share the same aspirations. We share the same ambitions, aspirations, feeling of sorrow and happiness. Whether he is a black mother in Africa or a white mother in New York, mother is a mother. The motherhood in case of someone who is living in the downtown of Manhattan or New York in Manhattan and in the remotest jungles of Koraput, same mother. Protective love for the children. Friends, we are all equal. Friends, and this is what the Indian philosophy says. How do you come to grips with it? By questioning. By opening your eyes, don't be misguided by the dogmas and superstitions. The legacy, sometimes the illicit legacy perpetuates, and we become victim to it. Generations after generations, and Buddha has rightly said that human beings have shed more tears than there is water in the ocean. Human beings have shed more tears than there is water in the ocean. It's a fact that the cause of, if you go to 7,000 years back, there is no religion. Even Hinduism was not there because Vedas were not written. The oldest Veda, that is Ruk Veda, was composed 6,000 or maximum 7,000, before 7,000 years. Religions were not there. Founders did not come. Neither Christianity, nor Islam, nor Sikhism. Guru Nanak was not there. You say Hinduism is, no, yes, the ideas of Hinduism, Sanatana Dharma, because it propagates ideas which are universal in that sense. But Hinduism as an institutional religion was not there 7,000 years back because the Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishad, they were not written. You must remember these fundamentals in our mind. So deep within, we are all equal. There is the same force, the same consciousness which thrives in you also thrives in a dog, in a plant, also even so-called stone, which appears to dormant. This is Indian ethos. I'm not going to give a talk on that. I was simply trying to make some observations so that you understand what philosophy is about. So philosophy is an art of searching for truth. What is important is searching for truth. Maybe we go different ways, we arrive at different destinations. What is important is not a destination. What is important is undertaking journey. That is rewarding, that is fulfilling. So philosophy, in one sense I can tell you, a philosophical temper, philosophical spirit, or philosophical tempo, philosophical fervor, tells you not to accept anything without questioning. This is what Socrates said. Toti, what is it? That is, his birthday is celebrated as World Philosophy Day. Toti, what is it? What is it? Ask. Neither agree nor disagree without questioning. If you disagree without questioning, maybe you are disagreeing from a truth. If you agree with her without questioning, maybe you are agreeing with a falsehood. So every acceptance or rejection has to be tempered by reason. It has to be tested by the touchstone of reason. Reason is the litmus test. Because that tells you whether it's right or wrong. Reason is a beacon light. It shows you the way. It helps you to discover, to find. So reason is you can say, element vital of human thinking, and it bears the credential of philosophy. It is not that. That is why it is said, philosophy is no man's land. Everyone can take to philosophy. When an old man thinks about life, disillusioned with life, with all his experiences, with his in-laws, what is life? Is it just simply begetting some children, raising them? What did I do? When he does the stock taking, he's philosophical. So philosophy in the sense of questioning, self-questioning, self-introspection is there in everyone. So everyone is a potential philosopher. I told you, every question to a logical end is philosophical. Similarly, in a day-to-day life also, we do possess that philosophical mindset. Now, the question which was asked in the beginning, before the commencement of the seminar, that why has philosophy fallen disrepute? It's a philosophical temper. So why? I'm taking more time than perhaps was allotted to me. We have to see what is the philosopher's role in a contemporary scenario. That part is left out. I'll be shortly touching the nature of philosophy and what does philosopher do. Now, you friends, I told you, mind has the capacity to ask questions. If you ask questions, what will happen? Your mental apparatus will be sharpened. You've seen woodcutters? Their muscles are so strong. Why? Because day in and day out, they cut trees with axe. Muscle is used. When muscle is used, it is strengthened. It is said that the future human beings will have shorter hands and shorter legs, and shorter hand and shorter legs, but a bigger heads, because head will be used, not the hands and legs. This is a prediction about future humanity. What will the nature of this? The criteria of beauty will change. A person having bigger head will be considered more beautiful, more handsome, because they are not being used. So the more and more you use the psychic potential by asking questions, the more and more the mental apparatus, thinking apparatus, the cognitive apparatus will be strengthened. The more and more you use your knife, the more and more the edge can be retained. If you don't use it at all, then it gets rusted, it gets blunted. So asking question is a want of human mind. If you ask questions, engage yourself in philosophical debates or philosophical exercises, then the psychic apparatus will be toned up, will be honed up, will be sharpened, will be embellished. That is one benefit at the source. You have tax deducted at the source. You have one benefit at the source. Anyone who is engaged in the philosophical debate or questioning or philosophical exegesis, at least his clarity will grow and the psychic apparatus will be sharpened. A philosopher, a person who is grounded in philosophy, can see through things. My teacher, Professor Hridayendra, for whom I am in philosophy, who is no more. Every such occasion I remember. I feel choked. He was proverbial in saying great things in a small way, in a small sentence. He said once, philosophy is an art of seeing things through. What appears at the surface may not be true. What appears at the surface may not be true. You have to see things through. That's what I've never come across any book. What appears to you may not be real. When you are sitting in the train, you find the trees moving. Trees do not really move, they appear to be moving. The sun appears to be moving in the horizon, across the horizon. But sun doesn't move, earth moves. Sun appears to be moving. So to discover the reality beneath appearance is the forte of philosophy, Philosophy is an act of how? by sharpening the intellect. So that is something which everyone, that is why friends, in all IITs, philosophy is compulsory, because a good training, a good dose of philosophy will make your mind sharp, your thinking sharp, pointed, clear, focused. So what does philosophy teach us? Do not accept anything at the surface. Ask why and how. Go beyond it, try to find an answer. It's a contemporary scenario. You have given me a topic, role of philosophy. What is a contemporary scenario? It's a very disquieting. Why? Now, why disquieting? Because human intelligence is working to its detriment. Whatever we have created in the name of excellence, that is working against you. If you have using a knife to cut vegetables, if it cuts your hand, give it a child, it will cut his hand. Give it a madman, it will go on a killing spree. Same knife. So knife which is used to cut vegetables, process vegetables, may cut trees, may cut throat as well, friends. The nuclear weapons which destroy civilizations, urban cities, can also give electricity to every village. This is a very simple thing. Everyone knows, the common man knows. But it is used for creating armament, nuclear weapons for killing others. Is it not a paradox? Don't you feel that humanity has gone wrong somewhere? Don't you feel that we should get a wake-up call from this? The statistics says if 2% of the money spent on armaments is diverted for food production, then every man will get square meal a day. Simple statistics. We don't understand. Statistics is simple but difficult to understand because we have mental blocks. We have mental blocks. Who has created it? We have created it. So the problem today and the crisis today is our own making. So where does the solution lie? Since man is a part of the problem, man should be part of the solution. But let's try to understand. This is where philosophy plays role. Let us try to have a really dose of philosophy to understand why this situation has come about, the called pandemic. Everyone is with a mask. You can recognize your friends because 60% of your face is covered. The entire world's economy is shattered. The entire economy, not the social life is shattered, economy is shattered, politics, everything is shattered. What is the cause? An invisible virus. Do you think that the coronavirus was born only in January? It was not there before when the world was created. And when the universe was created, when the earth was there, coronavirus came, a new virus created in state of nature. It was there. And still there are more deadly viruses waiting to come. Don't worry. If humanity doesn't get lessons from their follies, there will be so many viruses. There will be large scale deaths. And one fine morning, if the entire human race is completely eliminated, you should not be surprised because it's a very small place. Earth is a small place you cannot look at from the galaxy. Even sun, the solar system is just like a speck. If all human beings die, then nothing is going to happen to the universe. It's a small event. Read fact and fiction by Button does. Nothing. Human beings are not there 10 billion years back, and they will not be here after 5 million years. So human existence on this planet is only for a short period. Why this has come? Why irregularity of seasons? Why warming of the globe? Why the possibility of acid rain? Why the greenhouse effect? What for? Man should grow philosophically. The philosophical wisdom. What is that wisdom? Ask yourself. Have you contributed to it? To what extent man is responsible for global warming? Ask yourself, how have you lived? Have you taken care of the trees which give you oxygen? No. There's reckless felling of the trees, leading to denudation of forest cover. Naturally, that trees, the Amazon forest 20% of the ecological balance it maintains. The forests, the rivers, the river system, the oceans, ocean chemistry, they all contribute to the ecology of which we are part and parcel. If you remember it, would you like to ignore their existence? Would you go on mindless felling of the trees? Would you go on polluting the water bodies? What a paradox. 2/3 of the earth is water, but you don't have drinking water. 2/3 of the planet is water, but there is a dearth of drinking water. Nature has enough, the atmosphere, enough oxygen, but atmosphere is polluted. Water is polluted. And to add to this, all metropolitan cities are possible threat. Nowadays, parents don't send their children to metropolitan because there is always an attack. Terrorist attack. Who is responsible for this? Somewhere we have gone wrong. Rabindranath Tagore says that knowledge is like a lantern light. Hold it properly so that you remove the darkness and shadow. If you, instead of holding it before you, you hold it at the back, it creates shadow. Same thing which takes away shadow, darkness, also creates shadow. So knowledge is like that. You have an instrument with you. You can use it for your good and you can use it for your destruction. Choice is yours. Choice is yours. No one, you can't blame anyone for this predicament. Because we should always remember that animals, birds, the non-humans cannot go against nature. Then time for mating, time for begetting, they don't have greeds or excesses in the state of nature. They never overeat. It is only human beings who can go against nature because of his intelligence. That means we need another faculty which will direct our intelligence. Intelligence being a double-edged sword, friends, it can be used and abused. When intelligence is abused, you have coronavirus in the laboratory, created in the laboratory. If there are two views. Coronavirus is an artificial virus. It is not going to go. It is not going to leave us. Because it is an artificial virus. Another virus is in the making. If it is an artificial virus, ask yourself why this is a testimony of misuse of human intelligence. You need not fight the wars with bullets. You do not fight the wars with ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles. A small virus is enough to knock you down. The whole world is panicked. If you can create a small virus, if it is an artificial virus, it is a product of brilliant human mind. A brilliant human mind must have produced it. A small virus which can threaten even the first citizen. Trump was also admitted for corona, he and his wife. Italy, where the medical facilities are the most advanced, they are the first people who died in thousands, lakhs, thousands. Why does it happen? Because human intelligence can outwit everything. You did not find if one coronavirus, for 6 months the world came to a standstill. If there is a more deadly virus can be created, you can destroy everything. No need of bloodshed, you don't see it. If it is an artificial virus. If it is an artificial virus, ask yourself. Scientists should question themselves whether we should use our intelligence for destruction of fellow man, humanity, or it has to be used for constructive purposes. Second, if coronavirus, which has caused the pandemic, is due to a natural virus, now the $1 million question is, why did it come? How did it come? How it has affected the global community? Where have we gone wrong? Why is it that every country on this globe is threatened by global warming, pollution of water and air? Why? Who is responsible for it? This points to a gross error on the part of man. I'll conclude in 5 minutes because there is a limit to everything. There is a limit to time and limit to your patience. I don't know, try your patience. Just give me 5 minutes. Now you see this, if it is a natural virus, friends, again, you have to ask. You have to ask. It's fundamental. How come? That it has outed human intelligence. The mobile phone, what a wonderful technology, mobile phone. 3 inches by 4 inches. You can connect, you can see and talk and connect to any person, any part of the globe, from North Pole to South Pole. Human has human intelligence. But despite that, how a virus could threaten the intelligence, challenge the ingenuity of man? Have you gone wrong somewhere? Ask yourself. It's a time, this is a wake-up call. Take this call, take this call. It's an urgent call. Why it is an urgent call? Because there is a survival question. Question means either we live together or die together. It's a survival question. Ask yourself, why have we gone wrong? Have we gone wrong in relation to why tsunami, why frequent earthquakes, why tornadoes, why super cyclones? We have gone wrong in our relationship with nature. Man has somehow grown selfish, thinking that the entire nature is for my pleasure. The forest is for me, the water is for me, everything is for me because I'm the most developed creature. It's a wrong attitude, a defective attitude, a sick attitude. Man being the most developed creature thinks that everything is for me. Suppose you are a most educated person in the family. Do you think that everyone is for a pleasure or you are for everybody? You being the most educated fellow in the family, you think that it is my duty to nurture my youngsters. So on account of being more developed, man should think that he is a leader, he's a steward, he's a protector. He has to safeguard the plants and animals, flora and fauna. But instead of doing that, man has misused his intelligence in trying to live at the cost of others. What will happen? Nature's feedback. The earth will be visited by so many tsunamis, earthquakes, unless we take the wake-up call. Man should think that this is an organic whole where I am a part. So it is my duty to protect the whole. Others don't have duty. Animals cannot have duty. Plants cannot have duty. Human beings, on account of being more developed, they have this sense of duty. So on account of this, man should extend protection, love and protection to the plants and animals. When you live in harmony with nature, such unnatural things will not appear in the state of nature. It is a paradox, it's an irony that whatever man has created by using his ingenuity or intelligence is defeating his very purpose of it. So philosophically, it is a time for introspection, not only to the webinars, but the people who are at the helm of affairs, they should think, where have we gone wrong? Where have we gone wrong? You sell liquor, then you complain that there are murders under the spell of liquor. Why? We'll get revenue. How much revenue you are spending in trying a criminal in the police force? It's a good sense of prevail. Human beings should learn, so the time is right that human beings should pause for a while and think, where are we going? To end with a proverb from Christianity. It's wonderful. He said, when man has a mind, there are two ways open before him. The ways to hell and the ways to heaven. Symbolic. There are two gates. And both the gates are locked. But interestingly, you have only one key. The same key which opens the gates of hell will also open the gate of heaven. Choice is yours. Whether you want to opt for mass annihilation or peaceful coexistence. Choice is yours. Therefore, the future of humanity, the solution to this pandemic lies in man's good sense. Good sense should prevail. This time, otherwise, it will be too late to move, or too late to mend. Choice is either live together or die together. Once you decide to live together, inculcate love, universal love. Not only love your fellow man, this Sarkar calls new humanism. Not only love your fellow man, extend your love to plants and animals, because For your existence, they are also necessary. Your religion, your philosophy, your economics, your political science, your curriculum should try to infuse this universal love in the children. So 30 years across or after, you have a generation who not only love their fellow man as the neighbor, but also point at a tree, he is also my neighbor, because it gives oxygen without which I cannot survive. Thank you. Namaskar. Sorry, how much time I have taken? I exceeded time for 1 hour. Sorry, very sorry.
No, sir, don't be sorry. It's very enriching and thought-provoking talk you delivered. So thank you very much for your mm, very enlightening and encouraging uh, talk on the topic. I would like to quote Rene Descartes' statement: "It is not good enough to have a good mind. The main thing is to use well." So we should not take our life for granted. We have to learn, or we have to take all this what is happening as a lesson. So once again, I, on behalf of department, on behalf of IQAC and Kuchinda College, I extend my sincere thanks for such a nice uh, talk. Sir, we have questions, and I would like to read out the question. One question from Muralidhar Sethi. He wants to know, can philosophy change the destiny of a man, a nation, and the world? Sir, am I audible?
Yes, yes. You see,
One
what
question.
yes, I should say, a sound philosophical mindset can change the destiny. What is important, not philosophy. What is philosophy is a subject. So when philosophy is cultivated, the subject is cultivated, you grow a philosophical mindset. What is that philosophical mindset? A rationally sound mindset. If people by and large have this rational mindset, they would not fight in the name of religion. As I told you, is there any method by which you can go to a doctor or a scientist, say, to which religion do you belong? Cannot say. That means it is so superficial, so peripheral, so artificial, so man-made. So a philosophical mindset is not only an antidote against this global crisis, pandemic, but also it serves as an antidote against any crisis you face in life. It makes you more understanding. If you're rational, somebody commits a mistake. Now, I'll give an example. Jesus, when he was being nailed on the cross, what did he say? There was no iota of remorse in his face. He went with folded hands, said, "Oh Lord, forgive them." He gives reasons. He gives reasons to God. Oh God, forgive them. He's not only praying. He said, "Oh God, forgive them." Reason? Because they do not know what they're doing. They're ignorant people. They know not what they do. So look at a rational, so he's giving reason why he should be forgiven, because they do not know, they're ignorant people. So that means, had I been ignorant also, any ignorant man would like to do it. They nail somebody on the cross for no fault of him. This is a rational mindset. Suppose you have a difference with your friend. If you're rational enough, you'll forgive. Suppose you say you love a plant. Why should you love a plant? The philosophical mindset says, unless I love a plant, I cannot survive. I need oxygen to survive. So this rational mindset, this typical, what is philosophy? I told you, everyone is a potential philosopher. Everyone is a potential philosopher. But philosophy as a discipline helps you to cultivate that philosophical mindset. Though everyone, so you see, Raghunath Panigiri was a great musician. He did not go to a music college. Does it mean that music college should not be there? Yes. That's the place where music has to be cultivated. So a philosophical mindset is what is needed is. Now suppose it is an artificial virus originating in Wuhan. The leaders, if they would think rationally, who are going to die? They are human beings, they are brothers living only other part of the planet. What do we get by making them, causing this, mass death? They would not have done it. So when the rationality is awakened in you, everyone is a rational potency. Now, Ratnakara became Valmiki because Narada helped him to see this. Huh? He said, hey, what you are doing, what are you doing? Who is going to take the results of your action? Now, everyone will have a share in my sin. Go and ask. You are committing some sins, the results you will carry the luggage beyond your life. He went and asked. Then he was convinced that yes, that is not the right way. So it is the reason, whether it is an individual plane or a collective plane, it is the reason which reminds you of what is right and what is wrong. Reason makes you love, reason makes you serve. Suppose you have a lot of money, suppose you have money, you are getting UGC, you find a poor student is not able to fill up his form even on the last date. I'm talking about empathy or sympathy. The minimum reason in you should tell you what is conscience. Conscience should tell you, yes, I have so much. If I give 2,000 rupees, at least a student can fill up his form. If that does not come, you don't have conscience. What is conscience? It is awakened reason. Conscience is nothing but awakened reason in man, friends. If the reason is awakened in you, you will share it. If you are taking 4 pieces of parotha, find near you a dog, famished dog, looking at you with the saliva coming out. If you don't feel to at least share a piece, something wrong with you. So a rational man cannot be selfish. A rational man cannot afford to be indifferent. A rational man cannot afford to be cruel because he understands the truth. So in this sense, philosophy can serve as an antidote against the pandemic, which has engulfed the entire humanity, world across. Next.
Sir, one question from Manaswini Patnaik and Pradeep Panda. Both ask the same question on Corona has a bad impact on the mind of the Corona affected person. What is the role of ethics and philosophy? Pradeep Panda is trying to ask, is philosophy capable to remove fear from the Corona affected patients?
I told you that philosophy is what is after all philosophy, or a philosophy has something to do with your mindset. If philosophy has something to do with reason, and everyone has reason. 2 people who are going for a divorce, they have reason, respective reasons in favor of the divorce. Everyone has a reason. Even ask the terrorist, have you ever met the terrorist? I have met. If you meet the terrorist, the leader, you will feel like being a terrorist. I felt like. They have so much of reason to convince you why at all they have taken to arms. Why at all they have taken to arms. Now, very simple thing, ask yourself. If a corona patient you have fear that you may die, just imagine if your wife could be sick, your brother could be sick, or you could be sick. When does it come? When you have empathy. Not sympathy. Sympathy means a duality. I sympathize. Empathize. You feel somebody's hunger. You feel somebody's. You could have been that also. It doesn't mean that you go and nurse him and don't take any precaution. But that should not. That means I told you that rationality doesn't make you selfish. Rationality makes you moral, makes you other-centric, makes you empathetic, makes you love and serve. In other words, in a secular term, rationality makes you to reach out. The reach out mind, reaching out, could be an accident patient, made an accident, or a corona patient. What is after this corona? So this philosophy means developing a philosophical mindset, means rational mindset will help you, will make you more understanding. You can understand the situation better than those who are selfish. What happens in the selfish case of selfish man? The rationality is drowned. The rationality is eclipsed. The rationality is subdued. Rationality gets drowned. When I become selfish, do you know? Man becomes selfish. Destroyed forest. What happened? He was here to pay the price. A selfish man is a foolish man. Suppose I'm giving an example. Suppose your house is at Bhubaneswar or Puri. You are a selfish lady. Your ailing mother is there at home. In your absence, no one will take care of her because you have never taken care of anyone. It is a selfish lady. Out and out selfish. Grossly selfish. But if you are selfless, you know that even if you are at Kuchinda, your children will be taken care of because you love people and people love you. So tell me whether selfishness pays or selflessness pays. A selfless man is more secure, more quiet, more happy with it. And a selfish man is a lonely man. If you are rational, do you want to be lonely? Or you want to feel secured in the presence of your loving friends? Choice is yours. Your reason will tell you, no. A really selfish man should be selfless. Because if only by being selfless that you address your own interest. That is why selfishness doesn't pay. Why should I be honest? You ask the principal, why should I be honest? Principal will tell you, because honesty pays. Even after he leaves the seat, will say, oh, here was a man who was trying to share and care with others. So honesty, why should I be honest? Honesty pays. Why should I be sincere? Sincere. Why should I be selfless? Because selflessness pays more than selfishness. Okay, next question.
Sir, Gotami Kandaswamy, under what literary theory are the novels with philosophical and mythological grounds coming under?
Okay, you see, the myth makers are great people. I'll just give an example. Suppose you tell a story to a child, which is false, which is not true. Okay. I don't condemn why you are telling the untruth. No. Even if the story is not true, the story is taken to be true by a child and it has a message, it has a lesson. Let me give an concrete example. Mythologies are stories. When the Upanishads and they were not there in the Purana period came because through stories they want to educate people because the lofty thoughts of Upanishads and people cannot understand. To make those truths assimilable by common man, the Puranas, the stories, the story makers, mythologies were created. I'll give you an example of a fable. Book Fables from Aesop. It'll take 2 minutes. Now in the desert, camel is said to be the sheep of desert. Everything is carried by on the camel. And it is always ethical to give lift to somebody who is walking in the desert if it is night. So there is a businessman who was walking on a camel. This is a story from. Now you tell me whether this story should be told to everyone or not, even if it is false. This is the story. So the businessman was taking with his own camel. He was putting all the things on the back of the camel. After some time, he found that there was a traveler who was benighted. Means night was set in. He said, "Sir, please give me a lift." This businessman was a kind-hearted man. Though he's overloaded, he said that here is a man. How does he cross the desert? It is already evening. There are rubbers and all that. So he gave him a lift. After going for some time, this man took a dagger. Said, "Oi, get down." He was surprised. What do you mean? You get down or they kill you. He took the camel and he was thrown down. The owner of the camel and the businessman. After a few steps, then the businessman called him, brother, please listen. You take everything, I don't mind, but I have one request. Now, what is the request? Never tell others that you did this to me. You're surprised. Never tell others that you have done this. You have done this to me. In your skill, why not? Because those who are really in danger, they will not get lift. A single action of yours will send a message. Do not give lift to somebody if you do not know them. Is it not a very powerful story? Should not this story be told and retold? So myths and mythologies, Puranas, so far as they have an ethical message, they have a philosophical significance. Ethics is a part of philosophy. I didn't have time to tell you, otherwise I would have told you. If this is the philosophy tells you what is the truth, ethics prompts you to be truthful. That is an ethical dimension of philosophy. If you know the truth, that is not enough. You must be truthful. And these great myths and mythologies, they make people truthful. To that extent, they are philosophically relevant. Thank you.
Sir, one more question and last question. It
Okay.
is from Karthik Mahato. Sir, you say something about your student life.
It's a personal. You take my number. Now one thing I'll definitely not disappoint him when you are saying it. There is a great saying. Oh Lord, everything I have is thine, and nothing I have is mine. Nothing takes place without His grace. This I have learned. Even a small thing that you call me, your principal might not have agreed. He's saying, no, try to find somebody from different, maybe he knows many people he must be knowing, because a senior man, senior faculty. He could have said that. He did not say that because I was to come. So small things are also dispensed at his end. Whatever we are, nothing very special about me. Whatever I have, nothing I have is mine. Everything I have is thine, means yours. We have false sense of ego, arrogance, achievement. We forget that the real agent is behind. I did not know what to speak. I'm telling you, because you are all my brothers and sisters, my friends. What I said, how I said, that is all his dictation. I confess.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your time you spared with us, and for your valuable talk, which must, I say, it must help and encourage our students to think systematically, uh, to think critically, and they must learn how to formulate questions and how to search. So thank you very much, sir. Now over to Dr. Patra.
Thank you, sir. This has been a wonderful session, and I'm sure that all our learned audience would be very much benefited from this talk. Sir, as you said, that everything is thine, nothing is mine. That is your personality. Whatever you speak, you live the same way. We are so much thankful to you. And as everything must come to an end, this wonderful session and your nice talk has come to an end. And even those who have asked, so many numbers of questions have come to us, but there was no time to answer all the questions. And before we end, there will be a formal vote of thanks and by Mr. Ranjit Pradhan, lecturer in philosophy. Now I invite Mr. Pradhan to present a vote of thanks.
Namaskar to all. Honorable Speaker of the Day, Dr. Aditya Kumar Mohanty sir, respected Sri Khogeshwar Das sir, Principal, Kuchinda College, Kuchinda, Miss Suchitra Misra ma'am, Head of the Department Philosophy, Dr. Omya Kumar Patra sir, and my dear participants. Thank you, sir, for giving me opportunity to propose the vote of thanks. This is the fourth webinar of Kuchinda College, Kuchinda, and first webinar of Department of Philosophy. And we are so fortunate and blessed to have Dr. A.K. Mohanty as our chief speaker. On behalf of the entire organizing committee and fraternity of our college, on behalf of the organizing team, I extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Aditya Kumar Mohanty sir for his valuable time sparing with us and gracing the webinar on the topic, the role of philosophy in the contemporary scenario. Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us by your beautiful address, what is philosophy and how philosophy is important in contemporary scenario. Thank you, sir. Further, I would extend my heartfelt thanks to our beloved principal for giving us opportunities to organize such webinar. My special thanks to all participants, students, friends, faculty member for their active participations. I also extend my heartfelt thanks to Ms. Suchitra Misra ma'am and all the member of organizing team for their active participation. I would also thank all the member who directly or indirectly connected with us. Thank you everyone for joining with us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now evening must be descending there at the place you are.
This is early, now it is evening. Yes, in fact, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed your company. And it's not formal, I mean it, because everything is in place. And it's a wonderful seminar and people to share with one's ideas. And I would sometimes love to, because Sundargarh, we have a children home
Yes,
for boys. And so if I go, I would love to meet you all.
yes, sir. Do come to our place to
Yeah,
Chinda.
that will fulfilling for me. That will fulfill
Yes,
me.
yes, yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaste.
Yes, sir.
Namaste.
Thank you, thank you. Yes. And now, all our esteemed audience, all our viewers, now with this, we conclude this session. Once again, we thank you all and a very good evening. Thank you. Thank you, sir.